Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and you're getting all set for Turkey Day celebration later in the week. So I guess the announcement is no Friday call because of Turkey Day. So any questions, concerns, shoot them in the questions. We'd be happy to talk about them. Otherwise, I got things to talk about. So first thing I want to go through is one of our members, Victoria, sent a terrific bio. And I wanted to share with you what a terrific bio looks like. So if I can get my computer working here. So the first thing is her bio was written by somebody else. So you can, I'm sure, hire, if you live in a local, you can certainly hire a local reporter to do a bio for you. But let me see some answers to this question. Why would it be cool to have somebody else write your bio for you? So it's by somebody and not about you, not by you. So it's written like almost like bio is written almost like a news story. Why is that a great way to have your bio written? Third party, yeah, Michelle, exactly, third party. So as you see here, I've gotten red the things that I really love about this. So she's telling in the first paragraph, it says, now thanks to her help, your head is held up high, you're self-confident, you're not afraid to face the future. It's telling people what to expect from, silly thing. Just a second, guys, I got Windows doing this normal weird thing to me, so, oh, it worked, perfect. Okay, so, do you see how in the first paragraph, in the second sentence, it's saying, now thanks to her help, your head is held up high, you're self-confident, you're not afraid to face the future. It's telling people what you can expect by working with her. That's awesome. In the second sentence, that's perfect. And then you see the first paragraph, or I'm sorry, the first sentence in the second paragraph, Victoria is passionate about helping people, women in particular, get their lives in financial order. See, if you say that you're passionate about that, how much does it hold? Versus when somebody else says, wow, that person over there, that advisor, they are passionate about, that holds so much more clout. And, you want to be, passionate is a great word because that's what people are looking for, people who are excited, who are enthusiastic, who are passionate about working with them. And you see the first sentence of the third paragraph here, she is a rare breed when it comes to the male-dominated financial planning trade. So let's see if anybody gets why I love that sentence. She's a rare breed when it comes to the male-dominated financial planning trade. Why do I love that sentence? Different, Michelle, exactly. It's saying that she's different. Unique, Bill, exactly. So it's telling immediately why she's different from everybody else out there. I tell you straight out that when women see this, they're going to be extremely attracted to that, wouldn't it? So I'll go to the next. So this is just normal, blah, blah, blah. Here's all of her, she's Series 7. She's a certified financial planner. This stuff everybody does. So I'm not really, yeah, you need this stuff in there, but it's not what I'm excited about. Now, we get back to the exciting stuff. Victoria knows in order to go deep, you have to get to know your clients, which is why she starts all of her potential planning clients with a free 21-point checklist, which includes examining legal documents, looking at beneficiaries, especially going over power of attorney documents. I do it for people who are not necessarily committed to become my client because I think it's important that they see that I have a process. I've got their best interest at heart. So what do you think I like about that paragraph, guys? Or those first two paragraphs there? Why do you think I like those? Nobody's guessing. A system, yeah, it's system, testimonial. Yeah, those are both of those, a system and testimonial. So they want to know, this is giving a glimpse into how she approaches a client, and then the testimonial there, yeah. And then you see women's touch, I should have highlighted women's touch too. And down here at the bottom, as a little girl, Victoria got a first-hand look at the difficulties women face going through a divorce. She watched her mother struggle after divorcing Victoria's father due to terms in the divorce that favored her father. Very little coming in through child support. There was times when her mother could barely make ends meet. She saw the same thing happen to her grandmother. This childhood experience shaped her entire life view and led to finding her perfect calling as CFP with a specialty in divorce planning for focuses on women. One of the most important things Victoria wants is for a woman who is facing becoming a sole responsibility for her own lifestyle to feel secure with financial choices Victoria helps her make and to know that those choices are in her best interest. Victoria also wants women to understand they need a plan A and sometimes a plan B. Guys, if you are a woman and you are getting divorced, who are you going to work with? If you read this and you're a woman and you're getting divorced, who are you going to work with? So anybody in the, and if you're a woman getting who knows another woman getting divorced, who are you going to refer to? See, this is a powerful bio, because it's as Dino said earlier, narrowing her niche. Okay, Nicole Maddie was looking for a certified divorce planner and found Victoria through internet search. She knew right away that Victoria was different from the rest of the people she talked with. She offered me a free consultation, which nobody else did. Everybody else wanted a ton of money. During that initial consultation, Nicole was surprised at the thoroughness that Victoria examined her records, the further resources Victoria suggested. She even managed to find a large financial error Nicole had made, allowing her to avoid a costly mistake. She really went above and beyond what a free initial consult would usually do. Nicole was further impressed when Victoria did not try to sell her any future services and felt like she was talking to her. Guys, how powerful that is, that innate. Why is that powerful right there? Come on, guys. Why is that powerful? Testimonial again, Michelle, exactly. Not salesy, exactly. Third-party endorsement, absolutely. See, this is a fantastic calm and no pressure, exactly, Bill. So this is a fantastic bio. And then financial planning can get confusing. Divorce planning is filled with emotional challenges. It can throw even the strongest woman off balance, whether you're an individual, blah, blah, blah. So this is a great bio. So I wanted you to see that a bio tells a story. If your bio tells a story, and to the people who you are trying to attract, it's going to work fabulously for you. So this is going to work fabulously for Victoria. So that's the one thing I want to show you. And then another little thing I wanted to run by you. Anybody ever hear of Jerome Levy Forecasting Center? I hadn't, but it was in investment news. Yeah, nobody had. It was investment news, and they talked about Jerome, in 1929, Jerome Levy became uneasy as he evaluated the corporate profits. He sold all of his holdings right before the crash. So, thus was born Levy Forecasting Center, because he predicted this, the 1929 stock market crash. Since then, he's had, or his sons or his grandsons have had excellent track record of predicting other things. And they actually predicted in 2007 that the subprime mortgage problem would spread to virtually all financial markets, which it did. And then later that year, in October, they predicted there would be a recession, and that recession began 2 months later. So, I mean, these guys have a fantastic record of predicting. In 2000, they predicted the crash as well. So you'd think, wow, these people are awesome. Why? Well, in September 2010, Levy predicted 60% chance the U.S. Would go into recession. Well, that did not happen. So I guess my point is what? These people know what are these dummies, or are these people who are smart? But can you get it right all the time, guys? Yeah, it's unpredictable. You can never predict what's going to happen. So even well, I wouldn't say one-hit wonders. They've hit several times, but just because they've hit several times, does that mean that they're going to hit the next time? No, nobody knows. Everything's in flux. Because if these guys really predicted they're right every single time, would they be telling anybody about it? Yeah, just like Harry Dent. Totally agree with you, Roy. Because, guys, if you can predict it right every single time, why would you tell anybody that? What would you do with it? You'd be on your yacht in the Bahamas. But they're still pretty smart guys, so I thought I'd run this by you. They predict there's a 65% chance of a worldwide recession in 2015. And if that happens, obviously the world, or the U.S. is going to get hit hard, just like the world, because we have our exports are doing wonderfully right now, and those will go to Zippo if the world goes into a worldwide recession. And is this beyond a possibility, guys? The world going into a recession in 2015 with everything that's going on right now? Get lots of no's, exactly. So, and if that happens, guess what's going to happen to the U.S. economy and this wonderful stock market we have? So you got to be aware of that. So those are my 2 pointers today. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about marketing, and I want to talk about marketing because how we're coming into the Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving, which kicks off the holiday season. So most guys are not all that active in December, except to do client reviews and those kind of things. So what should we be doing in December then, guys? What should we be doing in December? Working. Well, but Setting up January events, Bill, exactly. Training, I agree with that. So I got training, planning, right. Setting up January events. So training and planning January. Because here's the thing. January is the best month of the year to market. And when do you have to plan January? At least a month in advance. So you'd be thinking already. So all the best advisors have their whole year planned out. So, for example, when the year we made 667 and 967 in personal production, we had our whole year booked out. So we had two events set up for January, February, one for March, one for April, one for May, and then nothing in June, July, August. And then we had 2 in September and 2 in October planned. Now, so like I said, I had 2 mailings, not 2 events, 2 mailings going out in January, 2 mailings in February, 1 in March, April, May. We'd always end up canceling a couple of those because we'd get overwhelmed. But guys, is it easier to have them planned and to cancel them? Or is it easier not to have them planned and say, oh my God, I don't have anybody to see. I guess I should do some marketing. Which is better? To have them planned in the pipeline and then just call up the restaurant and say cancel that. Or to wait until you don't have anybody to see and then say, oh gosh, I got to start. Guys, that's the silliest way to market, is to this reactionary marketing. So you should be putting your marketing in place in December for the whole year of 2015. Now, remember, knowing that you can cancel anything that you want to cancel, okay? So, I don't get, Bill, what do you mean too many to cancel? I don't get what you're saying there, Bill. Let's see if Bill will answer me here.
I'm wondering if he's saying that is the reason why you canceled was that you just had too many and that's why, which obviously is the answer to it.
If you got too many people, when we had 2 in January, 2 in February, 1 in March, April, May, we canceled because we were overwhelmed. So we had enough people to see. We didn't want to get too many people to see because then people start falling through the cracks. So what should we do for marketing? Well, what is the perfect marketing plan? Well, the perfect marketing plan. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we should expect from marketing. What do you do when your clients say that they want a 10% return with principal that's 100% guaranteed and it's 100% liquid? And what's wrong with that client? What do you know, when a client comes in and says they want a 10% return, 100% guaranteed principal, and 100% liquid, what's wrong with that client? That's right, they're dreaming, they're crazy, right? They're nuts. So I bring that up because when Jeff and I take recruiting calls from guys that are interested in 5Q, this is what they want. They want marketing that doesn't cost any more than a couple $100, that's guaranteed to work with no risk, that will get them in front of dozens of people that have lots of money. So Jeff, can you get on there, Jeff? Oh, and those people, when they come to see you, they're already pre-sold and want to buy from you. So am I out to lunch, Jeff?
No, that's what everybody's looking for.
And does that exist? I mean, you've been doing this a long time, Jeff.
No, that doesn't exist.
So guys, if that existed, what would we all be doing right now? Making ungodly amounts of money, right? Now, I'll be straight with you. These are the upper echelon of advisors, or this is the bottom echelon that's looking for this? The upper echelon realizes what? Marketing costs money. Because if marketing didn't cost money, guess what? Everybody would be, exactly, Brom is saying if there was marketing like this, the insurance companies, the mutual fund companies, the money managers wouldn't even need us. Because they would just be having people getting paid $20 an hour at the insurance company selling this stuff. So that that advisor does not have a firm grasp on reality, do they? Now, here's the thing, though. We have to realize there is no marketing miracle. However, there is marketing that works. Some barely works. Some works okay. Some works really well. But none works for no cost and no elbow grease. So some works with no cost. But you have to have elbow grease. Some works that cost money, and then you don't have to have as much elbow grease. But here's the great thing about 5Q system. What if you only had marketing that barely works? Why is it the 5Q marketing system still take care of that? or not the 5Q marketing system, the 5Q system as a whole. Even if marketing just barely works, yes, you close better, Royce. Yep, the 21-point checklist. If you're good at the 21-point checklist, you're going to close 5 out of 6 people that have money. So when you can close 5 out of 6 people that have money, are you worried when you only get 2 people in front of you? And will crappy marketing still get you in front of 2 people? Even the worst marketing out there at least gets you in front of 2 people. And if you know you're going to close at least 1 out of those 2 people, how worried are you about marketing? And it's certain when marketing starts to work even better, then hallelujah, right? So all successful marketing, though, requires either time or money. So what do I mean by that? Well, there is marketing out there. I'll give you an example. Who here, is anybody on the call right now that started with Edward E. Jones? Anybody on the call started with Edward E. Jones? See if anybody answers. I'm not getting any. Yes, at one time. Oh, okay. So Edward E. Jones, and I don't know if they do knocking on doors, Charles, exactly. So here in Rochester, I know for a fact that there's a guy who's one of the more successful guys here in Rochester now, who started out as a snot-nosed kid, knocking out doors, handing out the Edward E. Jones newsletter, promoting bonds. One door after another after another. I had 2 clients say, hey, this kid, he seems like a really nice kid. He knocked on our door. He gave us this newsletter. What do you think? I mean, it works, but that requires elbow grease. How many people are willing to go do that? This guy was willing to do it, and he built a very, very successful practice by doing that. Now, most people aren't willing to do it, but that's an example of, did that cost him anything? No. Just cost him what? A lot of elbow grease, walking from door to door to door. So if you have no money and you have time, there are things that work with elbow grease. So if you have no money, but you want to get in front of people in 2015, make sure you're setting up an appointment with me. Make sure you're talking to Scott at ECA about the program that he is working with everybody on. So if you have no money, but you've got time, and you want to get in front of people in 2015, call up and set an appointment with Tricia to talk to me, or you can call up Scott and he can work through a program that he's been ushering people through with no cost, but it takes some time time and effort. Okay. So if you have no money to market, that is no excuse to not market. Now, here's what drives me crazy, guys. When I talk to somebody, say, what are you doing for marketing? They say, well, I'm not doing anything. Well, let's talk about doing some marketing. They say, well, I don't have any money to do it. I said, great. I've got some programs that don't take any money. They take some time. And then what did these bozos tell me? So they say, I don't have any money. I say, great. I got some things we could do. Yeah, they don't have time. Guys, if they don't have any money and they don't have any time, I'm confused. What are they doing all week long? Because if you're busy, what should you be making? If you're busy, what should you be making? Tons of money. So if that's the case, if you don't have any money, but you're also too busy to do some of these things, then you know what? Let's sit down and send me your calendar. Now, I've made that offer to these bozos, and a lot of them quit when I do that. Why do they do that? No, quit 5Q. When I say, okay, why don't you send me your calendar? You have no money and you have no time to do this marketing. Why don't you send me your calendar for last week? Yeah. Because what are they saying? That I've got call on the carpet? Yes. Accountable? Embarrassed? Yeah. So what are they saying? They finally got somebody in their life who's going to be straight with them and be honest with them, saying what? Dude, you're your own biggest problem. You don't want to work. You think there's some sort of magic wand that's going to get people to walk into your office. Because if you're not, you're certainly not busy. I mean, I'm looking at your calendar. You got 3 appointments next week, and they're all for client reviews. And you're telling me you're too busy to do something else? So, guys, if you want to get in front of people in 2015, and you don't have money, call Tricia. She'll set up an appointment with me. Or call Scott at ECA, and he'll talk about a program that he is helping guys out with as well. Does that make sense? Okay. But if you have money, you don't want to waste it, right? You don't want to waste it on marketing that doesn't work. So if a marketing genius calls you and they want you to use their marketing by paying them a bunch of money up front, here's some things to keep in mind that will save you a lot of time, money, and hassle. Because guys, I've got, and I've told you this, I got $50,000 worth of marketing systems in my office. I'm looking at them right now. I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves, along with some underneath it, and they're all boxed up. Why are all those marketing systems boxed up? 50 grand worth of marketing systems, all boxed up. Why? They don't work. They suck, exactly. But all of them told me what? They work. And maybe they work for somebody, but by the time they came through the mail to me, guess what? They did not work. So if they want you to pay a large amount of money up front with no guarantee that you're going to get in front of people, what should you tell those folks? If they won't get, and I've heard their guarantees. Is there a guarantee ever a guarantee, or do they say, listen, if it doesn't work, we'll send out more crap that doesn't work? Is that their guarantee? So here's the thing. But here's the thing I want you to know about marketing systems. How clients buy. The 2009 benchmark. Now this is updated. I didn't have the new cover to put on here, but this was updated in 2011 as well. So how clients buy. They looked at 27 different methods on how clients find their advisors. So the top 4 methods are referrals from colleagues, friends, and family, right? Exactly, Michelle. They usually only want you to send out more once you produce more. So the top 4 methods that this research found were, number 1, referrals from colleagues, family, and friends. That's a big duh, right? We should know that's the top method for getting new clients. And when you read December's, I have a methodology that will help you do that in next month's 3-point newsletter. Referrals from other service professionals is the second best way. Personal awareness, we're going to talk about that here in a second. And the last is seminars. And we can go ahead and argue with the study, but it was done by an entity that has nothing to do with seminars. All they are is a research organization that looks at not just financial, they look at the financial market, the legal market, CPA market. So the big 3, the legal, CPAs, accounting, and then also financial. And they found that seminars were the 4th best way to get in. But referrals are number 1, and that's what we'd all want, right? So how does 5Q help you with referrals from colleagues, friends, and families? Well, first of all, it's having a WOW office. So what do I mean by a WOW office? Is there anybody on the call who does not know what that is? Oh, that's awesome. Good. So we have a manual. Not 100% sure. Missy, where's that manual on the WOW office?
It's actually in the archive library, and it just says the WOW system.
Okay, in the archive library in the WOW system. So what that is how to set up your office for less than $500 to wow people when they come in. Do you think it has anything to do with how your office looks, guys? What does it have to do with? Yeah, that's right. Dino's saying cookies baking in the oven. Yep. So all you need is a pizza oven and some sliced cookies from the grocery store. The marquee, welcoming people that come to your place. On your wall, you've got pictures of all your clients at your client events. No, nothing else except big collages of your pictures of smiling client faces on your walls. The only thing that's on your table, if you're a registered rep or an insurance professional, is the testimonial book. That's the only thing they can read. And if you're an RIA, the only thing in your office for them to read would be non-financial magazines, things about travel, things about maybe Oprah's magazine, golfing magazines, but nothing about finance. And then there's a whole bunch of other things you can do to make your office for less than $500 a wow experience. So I would much rather spend $500 on a wow experience than being in a building that has marble and mahogany and all that kind of crap. My office was in Insurance Row between 2 other property casualty agents above an orthodontist. It had industrial carpeting on the floor. My furniture cost probably about $500 from Pier 1. It was rattan furniture with some pillows on it. My coffee table probably cost me $50. I mean, it was the walls are painted white. It was about as institutional as you could get. But the experience that they had, that's a whole different thing. And what do people remember? The mahogany and the marble, or how you made them feel? Have you ever been to a dive restaurant or a dive bar and had and I'm not saying you should have a dive office. Have a nice, clean, respectable office. But I just want to make a point here. Have you ever been to a dive bar or a dive restaurant, and you just had the most awesome time there because the people were friendly, the food was terrific, it was a warm environment, a warm, friendly environment. That's what people remember, okay? Not how much the marble costs on the floor in your building. Does that make sense? The 5Q elevator conversation, which with every single one of you, when you came on to 5Q, I asked you to become familiar with all 3 of those elevator conversations and master it. Why? Because you're going to use that 5Q elevator conversation where after 3 or 4 minutes you're going to say, hey, would you do a 21-point checklist for me? Hey, would you do a 21-point checklist for me? So yeah, now how do you use that? Well, first is if anybody ever says, what do you do for a living, you go through the 5Q elevator conversation. That's first place. If anybody asks what you do for a living, you go through the 5Q elevator conversation. At networking events, you're going to use the 5Q elevator conversation. Also, you're going to use it if you're at an event and somebody's wondering whether they should make an appointment with you or not, you're going to use the 5Q elevator conversation. And here's the things you have to know, guys. If you are awesome at the 5Q elevator conversation where you get people to say, hey, would you do a 21-point checklist for me? And you are awesome at the 21-point checklist meeting, what have you just created? If you are able to have an elevator conversation with anybody to get them to say, wow, could you do that thing for me? And you're good at the 21-point checklist, what have you just created, guys? Yeah, an ATM machine. Because if you get them to do a 21-point checklist and you are good at 21-point checklist, what are they going to do? What are 5 out of 6 people going to do at the end of a 21-point checklist if you're good at it? What are 5 or 6 out of 6 people going to do at the end of a 21-point checklist once you're good at it? They're going to buy. With how much? Yep, move all their money to us right now. So if you're good, if you can get 5 out of 6 people you talk to tell you they want to do a 21-point checklist, and you get 5 out of those 6 people to move all their money to you, you've just created what? An ATM machine. Anytime you need another client, boom, you got another client. So get good at that 5Q elevator speech or conversation, and get good at that 21-point checklist. And Jeff and I and Jerry, we're all here to quiz you on that, to role play those things with you if you want, to make sure you got them down, okay? And then we've got the monthly newsletter and email. And if I had a choice, which one do I like better? The newsletter that you mail out in the mail or the email? Which one? So this is, remember, for you guys that don't realize this, this is the epidemic. We could prepare a newsletter for you and an email for you every single month that you can send out to your warm prospects and your clients. The newsletter, right. Through the mail. Email is the easy way out. Well, guess what? The easy way out has less clout. How many emails do you delete every single day, but you read your mail, don't you? Everybody reads your mail. And when you're retired, guess what? Mail becomes an exciting thing to people who are retired. They actually go out and can't wait for the mail to come when you're retired. So we have that prepared for you. Send that out. And here's the thing: you got to remember that, guys. How many of you talk to your clients about compounding? How many of you talk to your clients about compounding? The power of compounding. Bruce says all. I mean, what did Einstein say about compounding? Compounding interest. What did he say? 8th wonder of the world. Exactly right. So here's the thing. When you spent money to market and you've got somebody's name who raised their hand and they're interested in a lead generation card or coming to an event or whatever it may be, once they've raised their hand, that was the most expensive thing to get them to do. Now you got to compound that by dripping on them. Because if all you do is, if they don't buy right then and you just throw them out with the wash, you're flushing them down the drain. Instead, you got to compound that. When you get a name, you got to start dripping on them. Costs you 50 cents a month to drip on them. $6 a year to drip on them. If you're dripping on 300 people, what does that cost you then, guys? If you're dripping on 300 people once a month, what's that cost you? $1,800. So how much of those 300 people would you have to sell? What would you have to sell to cover $1,800? I don't even know. What is it to say? Yeah, well, less than one, Bruce says. Yeah, I mean, how much money would you have to sell to make $1,800? Guys, once you have a name, you're silly not to be dripping on them every single month, because what's the number one reason people leave their current advisor? What's the number one reason people leave their current advisor? By 3 times. 3 times. Lack of contact, lack of contact, lack of contact. It's not lack of ideas. Bull crap, lack of ideas. Guess what everybody's got? Besides the other thing. They've all got ideas. It's lack of communication. Lack of communication. So if you're contacting these warm people 12 times a year, in the way that I ask, our monthly newsletter is written in a very specific way. I call it the church bulletin mentality. It's written by somebody they know, about people they know, about things they care about, and can be read in 5 minutes. That's an awesome thing to be dripping on them. So, you gotta be, don't waste warm people. You're crazy. You will sell 4 or 5 people a year on that newsletter. That's going to pay back way more than $1,800 if you even have 300 people. Okay. Client events. So barbecues. We're coming into the Christmas lights tour. And Missy, where do we have the Christmas lights tour on the system on the website?
It's Holiday Lights Tour, also underneath the archive library. It's just called Holiday Lights Tour.
So I would highly recommend, if you don't have an event or haven't done an event for a while, do that. It's cheap, it's easy, it's fun, they'll love you for it. But do client events. Client Advisory Board, we have a system there. And that's under the 5QES system on the site, isn't it, Missy?
I think so.
You'll check on that? And then Pay It Forward is actually the, I'll be talking about in the December's 3-point newsletter. It's a fantastic way to really, and the Pay It Forward system is an awesome way to get high net worth people or the movers and shakers of the centers of influence in your town to become clients of yours. And that'll be in the 3-point newsletter that's coming in the December issue.
And the Client Advisory Board, Mike, is actually also under the Archive Library. So the WOW Experience, the Holiday Lights Tour, and the Client Advisory Board are all under Archive Library.
So you guys all want to go check that Archive Library today for all sorts of goodies there, okay? Now, second thing, the biggest way to get new clients for marketing is referrals from service professionals. So what do we have at 5Q to help you with that? Well, number one is the Golden Referral System, right? And that's also, I'm going to ask you, Missy, is that under the archives?
Nope, the Golden System's actually under the ES system, so that's the only one that's different, ES system.
Okay, so that's under the 5Q ES system. We have the CPA Attorney monthly drip letter that you can drip to CPAs and attorneys that you put just on your letterhead, and you drip it on local attorneys and CPAs, and it's written by Jeff, and it's a paragraph or two that helps them with their practice. It's ways to make them look smarter in front of their clients. You're helping them with their practice. And what I highly recommend is that every time you get a new client, that very day, a letter goes out, and we have that letter that you send out to your client, CPA, and attorney, introducing yourself as this client's new advisor, and you compliment them saying, hey, Mary and Joe told me that that you take great care of them. I looked at your work. It's fantastic. Just wanted to let you know that I'm the new advisor. If you have any concerns or questions, here's my contact information. Go ahead and give me a call. So you pat them on the back and tell them how great Mary and Joe said they were, and that you looked at their work and their work is fantastic, and then here's my contact information. So how does that make you look with those CPAs and attorneys? Makes you look like how many of those letters do they get from other advisors? So again, you're making yourself look different. You're making yourself look professional. You're patting them on the back, so you're making yourself likable to them. And here's the great thing. In a year, when you start doing our marketing, and you're bringing on 60, 70 people, 100 people a year, the great thing is you're going to find some CPAs. I had CPAs that maybe I would bring on 8 of their clients in a year. So if they received 8 of those clients in the year, what are they thinking? I'm sorry. If they received 8 of those letters in a year, what are they starting to think about Mike? If they get 8 of these letters, yeah, then I'm good. Then I'm good. I wouldn't be bringing on or having 8 people leave their current advisor and move to me unless I was good. And that starts to get them thinking about what? Referring to you. We also have the property casualty system. Now, third way to market is personal awareness. So that is the skill of being lucky. So there's been lots of studies in both the United Kingdom and the United States at different universities about luck. And they found that you can become lucky. Even the unluckiest person in the world, if he goes through a class on becoming lucky 8 hours later, a class for 8 hours long on how to be lucky, within the next month they would become much, much luckier. But they did find that there's one characteristic that people have. There's one characteristic that people have, well, two really. Two characteristics people have that make them lucky. One is having a positive outlook on life. But what's the second characteristic that they found makes you lucky? Let's see if anybody gets this. What's the second characteristic that makes you lucky? Ah, Bruce has got it. Putting yourself out there. The more contacts you have, the luckier you get. Think about this, guys. If you have 200 friends, are you going to be more lucky to have somebody call you up and say, hey, I've got Giants tickets. Can you use them? If you got 200 friends, are you more likely to have somebody call you up with something like that? Or if you've got 5 friends, you're more likely to something like that to happen to you. If you lose your job, are you more likely to find a new job if you got 200 friends with all their networks, or if you got 5 friends? So having contacts, the more contacts you have, the more tentacles you have out in the community, the luckier you're going to get. So one of the things we give you every single month as well is a letter to the editor. Put your name out there. It gets people thinking about you, talking about you. And I'll tell you that I never got a single client from my letters to the editor. But I can't tell you how many times that when people were signing paperwork with me, they'd say, yeah, I see your letter to the editor all the time. So I don't know what power it had. It either was the power that allowed them to trust me enough to move their money to me, or maybe it was the trust to come to one of my marketing events. So the letter to the editor did not bring people calling up, didn't bring them in directly to the office, but it did bring me clients. How? I'm not sure how, but so many of them mentioned that they saw my letters to the editor while they were signing paperwork. So that either got them to come to my events, or got them faith enough to make an appointment with me, or to finally move their money to me, or all three. And what does it cost me, guys, to do a letter to the editor? Nothing. And we write it for you. So use these tools that are free. What would I tell you if you had no money to market or do an event, and you also told me you have no time to do a letter to the editor? What would I say? Don't be foolish, guys. Epidemic marketing is not free, but it's cheap. And it's what I was just talking about. Sending out a letter to warm people costs you 50 cents a month. You need to be doing that stuff, guys. Breakfast clubs. Having a meeting at the same place every single month, whether it's at Panera's or at Dunn Brothers or at Caribou Coffee or Starbucks or wherever. Find a place that will allow you to do it, and you have a meeting every single month there, and you can invite other speakers to be there. You can invite cosmetic dentists, and you can invite a chiropractor. You can invite the local librarian with the, you can invite all sorts of people, a local historian, to have these, and then you're always going to be talking for the first 5 minutes introducing them. That's a fantastic way, and that costs you virtually nothing. Belonging to anything you're interested in. If you're a motorcyclist, belong to a motorcycle club. If you're a gardener, belong to a gardening club. If you're a golfer, belong to all the golfing leagues you can belong to. If you're a tennis player, same old, same old. Why? Because it's giving you more opportunities to have what conversation, guys? It's giving you more opportunities to have what conversation? Now, what do we call that? The elevator, Dale. Exactly, the elevator conversation. And if you're good at that, guess what's going to start happening? Because with the elevator conversation, for those that know the elevator conversation, do we sell anything with the elevator conversation? Are we selling any products, anything? And I mean, what are we doing with the elevator conversation? We're just talking about the consequences that they would suffer if they don't fix the little things. And do we sell anything at the 21-point checklist, guys? Do you sell any products at the 21-point checklist? No. The only time we sell a product is when they say, I want to move all my money to you. What would you recommend? Then we offer products. So should we be totally comfortable with the elevator speech getting people to do a 20-point checklist? Because are we twisting their arm to buy a product from us, or are we twisting their arm to let us help them fix their problems? We're getting them to realize that they have problems and get them fixed. That's all we're doing. Does that make sense? So you're making your own luck. And then seminars. No upfront marketing costs, right? So they're not free. It's just that we're taking the risk out of it for you. Because if they don't work, you don't pay. They only work if you get in front of people. And you got three choices. You've got the Social Security, you've got the outside the box, and we've got the fires, floods, and taxes. So you actually have three choices to do events with. Now, that's what we offer at 5Q. Now I want to talk about some of the other wacko things that people are out there doing. And it's going to throw some cold water on the current marketing miracles. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I've had a lot of calls with people telling me they're doing some of these things. And I just don't have the heart to tell them not to do them, but don't do them. Here's why. Online prospecting webinars. There's a doughhead out there right now, right? This is a guy that I bought something from in the early 90s. It cost me $7,000 in the early 90s. Because he was selling CDs, you know, making yourself into a CD, an expert on CDs you could send out to blah, 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 blah. Guess how much money I made on that? Yeah, you got it, Charles, Steve Anderson. So now he's selling what? On-demand marketing. Well, guess what? Out of 27 methods for attorneys, accountants, and financial advisors to get in front of people, came in number 17 out of 27. Now, those of you that have looked at this webinars on demand, how expensive is it? How expensive is it? So if I'm going to spend as much money as he wants me to spend, it better be number 1 out of 27 methods, not number 17 out of 27 methods. Lead generation postcards came in number 19 out of 27 methods. Why is it number 19 out of 27 methods, guys? Think of the 6 principles of influence. Does it obey any of the 6 principles of influence? Does it obey reciprocity? No. Does it obey scarcity? No. Does it obey authority? No. Does it obey consistency? No. Does it obey liking? No. Does it obey consensus? No. It doesn't do any of the 6 principles of influence. No wonder it's number 19 out of 27 methods. Being an author. This is another one that just cracks me up. Guys, is it better for you to be an author or be endorsed by an author? Is it better for you to be the author or be endorsed by an author? Michael said, yeah, we're getting a lot. Michael, Dale, Bill, endorsed by the author. Even if people don't even know the author, it's better. No, it couldn't go either way, Dino. Bullshit. Because how many people are going to read a book, guys? How many people read these books that are all over the place and everybody's shoving down people's throats? How many people read the books? Hardly any at all. So if they're not going to read your book, then how is being an author going to help you? But if they don't read the book of the guy who's endorsing you, how does that help you? So all of you that have my book, they don't know me from Adam. But what's the most important part of that book? What's the most important part of that book? What's the most important part of the book that we send to you? The cover letter, exactly, the endorsement letter. So you put that up on your wall. You make sure you have copies, so anytime you do hand out the book, you put the endorsement letter in there. Because what's the only part of that book they're going to read? They're not going to read the book, they're going to read the what? The endorsement letter. And that goes a long way. Even if they don't know me, it's somebody who wrote a book, that took the time to say you're a good guy. That has clout, guys. But because being an author came out of 22 out of 27 methods. And how expensive is that, both time-wise and money-wise, to be an author? Again, are we getting a theme here? It seems like all these guys that are offering marketing crap, the more expensive it is time-wise and money-wise, the lower it is on what list? The effectiveness list. Using social media, 25 out of number 27. Number 25 out of 27. How many people choose their doctor? How many people choose their attorney? How many people choose their accountant? How many people choose their advisor through social media? What do people do with social media? They have pictures of their frigging kids up on the social media. That's what they do. And guys, Jeff and I constantly talk to guys that have thousands of people on their LinkedIn. What does that get them? I have one guy down in Houston who's killing it with LinkedIn. Out of 100 guys that I've talked to, so I got one guy out of 100 guys I know that are big into LinkedIn, and one of them's making money from it. And he brings on probably one or two good clients a month from it. All the other, guess how many? If I add up the other 99 together, guess how many they bring on in a month? Zip, exactly. Why do guys like this? There are two reasons guys like social media. Why? Yeah, it costs no money and no effort, right? And it gives you the illusion of what? Business. It gives you the illusion of business because I've got all these LinkedIn people. I got thousands of LinkedIn people. Guys, when I was an advisor, I had a cabinet. It was my maybe cabinet. It was people who didn't tell me no, and they didn't tell me yes. It was people that I might be able to get. They hadn't really made a decision yet. They said, I need to think about it. My business took off because I had a full, Missy, did I have a full cabinet full of those people?
You sure did.
Yeah, and I mean, I had probably $20 million of investable money in that filing cabinet. My business took off the day I did what with that filing cabinet?
Got rid of it. Cleaned it out.
Got rid of it. Shredded it. If they're either clients or they're not clients, and people that have thousands of people on LinkedIn think that somehow those people are possible what? Clients. They're not. Number 25 out of 27. Radio, number 26 out of 27. Now, I will tell you, there are a few people who have really killed it with radio. But if you ask them, did they hit it the first year they did radio? Did it work the first year they did radio, guys? Nope. Did it work the second year they did radio? Got a few clients out of it. Third year they did. Guys that are killing it with radio, guess how long they've been in radio? A long time. Yeah, 5 years exactly, Casey. And then the last one is blogging, but you know what? I don't see any guys out there really doing this, so that's not a problem. But I see guys doing the radio. I see guys using social media. I see people being authors. And guys, here's the sad thing about authors. I've seen guys put their business on hold for 6 months so they become an author. So they spend all this 6 months parking their business so they can be an author, thinking all of a sudden when they become an author, and then what do they do for the next 6 months? Waiting for a work. So they took a whole year off, 6 months to become an author, 6 months waiting for the book to work to finally figure out what? That was a wasted year down the river. Lead generation postcards, online prospecting webinars. So guys, just do what works. What works, guys? If I go back to these 4 things, referrals from colleagues, family, and friends, referrals from service professionals. Again, what's the number one way you're going to get referrals from colleagues, family, and friends, guys? Being very, very good at what? Being very, very good at the 21, yes, but what before the 21? What's going to turn referrals from colleagues, friends, and families into the elevator, Todd? Exactly, the elevator, Michelle. Being good at the elevator conversation. Because if you're good at the elevator conversation, you can turn anybody that you bump into a 21. And then as Rick points out, once you're good at the 21, you can convert any of them. And again, 5 out of 6, as far as I'm concerned, is anybody. Because how happy are you going to be if you can get 5 out of 6 people that you do an elevator conversation with to do a 21? Are you going to be happy? And then how happy are you going to be if you become good at the 21-point checklist, asking questions, getting on their side every time they answer it, and having them explain to you over an hour and a half why they need to leave their guy, getting 5 out of 6 of those people to leave you. Referrals from other service professionals. We've talked about that, right? Getting those letters out as soon as you get a new client. Personal awareness, belonging to everything and anything. Again, using the what again, guys? The elevator conversation. And then the events. Getting people in, getting them converted to number 1 meetings, to 21s, and then closing them. So you have all, we will help you with all 4 of the top methods. We're not going to help you with any of the other ones. Why? Why would we bother helping you with any of the other ones when they're all way down the list? Low probability, exactly. So my message is, coming into December, what should you be doing? I want a lot of answers to this. What should you guys be doing in December? Training, I love that one. I think it was Todd that said training, absolutely. And what else? Marketing plan, right, Michelle? Planning your marketing for when? January or the whole frigging year? There you go, Fern, 2015 calendar. The whole year, okay? And if you don't have money, you're going to make an appointment with what? Either myself or Scott. Either myself here at 5Q or Scott at ECA, they'll help you, or Tricia will help you get an appointment with me, and I'll help you figure out ways to get in front of people that cost nothing. But it's going to require what? Elbow grease. Please do not make an appointment with Scott. Please do not make an appointment with Tricia to talk to me if when we talk to you, you're going to tell me you don't have the time, effort, or ability to do what I'm going to ask you to do. Because then that's just darn white rut. What are you? You call up, you want help because you don't have any money, we help you out, do that, and they say, well, I don't really, that's too hard, or it's cost too much time. Lazy, exactly, Jay. So don't call up if that's going to be the point. But if you're truly going to follow through on the things Scott or I can help you with, then even if you have no money, let's get you out there, let's get you in front of people. And guys, the one thing I hope you're taking from this is you should become an expert at 2 skills. Now, GOTS, yes, GOTS is the most important thing. Getting on their side is the most important side. But then what 2 big skills should you be good at? Two that we talked about. That's turns your life into an ATM machine. What are the 2? Yep, the elevator speech and the 21, Michelle. Right on target. The 21 elevator conversation and the 21. Okay? Yes, Fern, we do. We have 50, 60, 80 products. Absolutely. Yep. So, any questions, any concerns about what we talked about today? Was this helpful to you guys to get your head on straight what you should be doing in December? Awesome. So, again, Friday's call is canceled, so I just want to take this time right now to wish you all a great Turkey Day, a Thanksgiving Day. I want to give you thanks right now for your trust that you've put into me and Missy, Jeff, and the ECA guys, and Tricia. We really appreciate all that you do. And we hope you have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you all next Monday. Thanks, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.